Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It still feels very weird to say that. I'm not used to this by any means. Thank you for trusting me as we go through this process together. I promise, just like my Instagram and TikTok, I'm gonna get better as I get more comfortable and used to this platform. But today we're gonna talk about money, of course, which is obviously one of my favorite topics. And we're gonna chat about my Stan Store. My Stan Store is essentially like my bread and butter in my business. It's where I sell my budget template. It's where I have my budgeting calls. That's where I do my custom budgets. And then also like any affiliate links are all included in there. But I just hit $300,000 in revenue through my Stan Store in just 2.5 years, which is crazy. I did not think that that was going to be the case when I first launched my budget template in May of 2023. I did not think we would be sitting here 2.5 years later with that type of number. And yeah, it's just really cool and exciting to see like what you can do in the online world. So that's obviously why I'm here, because I'm all about transparency and we'll chat through all of the things. So I figured today I kind of want to go through with you guys tips when it comes to making money online, specifically through now digital products or one-on-one calls or courses, if you will, as well, without sounding sleazy, because I feel like there's a lot of bad stuff online too in terms of what people are selling. A lot of it is kind of scammy. You know, there's so many different things going on, and I find that there's obviously a lot of amazing stuff out there too. So if you're one of those people, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're wanting to get into the content creation world of things, I hope that these tips will kind of help you when it comes to selling online. So my first tip, and this one is like extremely important, and that is make something that is actually good. So for myself, like I take my finances extremely seriously. If you know me from, Instagram or TikTok, you know that I'm trying to level up my life and my world and my wealth and all that stuff, and I want that to also happen to other people, which is why I created my channel in the first place. But that seriousness and like that passion came or went into my budget template as well. Each year I've done kind of like a software update, if you will. So as I improve, my own skill set when it comes to formulas and things like that, and just like requests from people, I do update it yearly. In any case, make something that is actually good and that you're actually proud of, because it's gonna be a lot easier for you to sell something like that. And the second tip that I have, and this one's huge, is actually building a video series around your offer. So when I first started my journey online, I definitely tested out with a lot of different formats and things. And I remember it was like January or February of 2023, I started doing like a budget breakdown video, and I did it literally with like a notepad. I didn't do it as fancy as I do it now. I think it's a lot better and nicer looking when I do my budget breakdown videos. But it started off very, very simple, but it performed so well. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. I want to launch my budget template in a few months. This is a great way to kind of talk about budgeting. So if I can incorporate, what I'm doing now and selling my template, amazing. I feel like that's the biggest thing, is like creating some type of video series where you can promote your product at the same time as, giving value or educating or doing something else for the person. So you're not just like, it's not just like a sales pitch video, because no one's necessarily going to watch that over and over again. And my third tip is using your product organically throughout your content. So what I mean by this is like, if you personally use the product itself, is there a way that you can incorporate that into your content? So for myself, of course, I use my own budget template, is how I manage my money every single month. So a great way for me to kind of organically pump it into my content throughout the month is like when I do how much I spend in a week video, or how much I spent in a month videos, or how much I made. Sometimes I'll also just kind of incorporate a little video here and there of me working on my budget template. It's just kind of organically putting it into your content without me going like, here is my budget template, please go into the link in my bio and buy it. Same thing for my budgeting calls and custom budgets. There's really great ways to organically pump it in throughout the week or month for you to sell it without selling it. I hope that makes sense. My fourth tip is using automatic DM feature. So previously I used ManyChat, but then I changed it over to StanStore because StanStore actually now does that automatic DM feature, which is amazing. So everything's just on that platform itself. The reason why I love this is because there's so many people who will like your video, who will save your video, share it with someone else, but will be actually get to the point of going out of the video, into your link, clicking on the link, buying the product. You know, there's a lot of steps for them to get from A to, let's say, F or whatever that is. So the automatic DM feature is really great because essentially they can comment a specific word. So for myself, in my budget breakdown videos, that's when I'll always have like comment budget if you want if you want my template. But that's great because then a automatic DM gets sent to them directly with the link. There's just less steps for them to purchase the product, and I've found that this really boosts up conversions like crazy. So this is definitely like a really big tip. I like it. But yeah, if you're intentional, if you do it strategically with certain videos, it does make a lot of sense. And my fifth and final tip when it comes to generating revenue online is don't forget your stories. I'm actually kind of bad with this. I want to get better. I need to be a little bit more strategic when it comes to using my stories. I try my very best. So using stories strategically is really important. Something that I've found really helps me when it comes to converting sales is actually people giving their reviews of the budget template. I get so many DMs, and this again goes back to the first part where I've created a good product. I know I have. I'm very proud of it, but it works. And people will literally message me on Instagram specifically saying how much I've helped them with the budget template. People will literally say, like, it's actually crazy. Like, I paid off $10,000 worth of credit card debt in the last like 4 months. Or people will say they've saved $20,000 in the last year using my budget template. That alone is like a full-on sales pitch, right? I didn't have to do it myself. I find that anytime where I'm wanting to purchase my own product or service or something, I usually go to a person to see if they've used it in the past. So having that sense of like community and trust, that is huge. So if you can integrate that into your story, that's amazing. And I will say that I think it's okay to have a bit more of that like salesiness in your stories as long as it's balanced with like organic stuff. But it is a really great way to directly chat with your customer in the sense of like, here's the key stuff and here's the link for you to buy it. It works really, really well. So those are my 5 biggest tips when it comes to making money online. I did not know that this is what was going to happen in 2.5 years. It's absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to see what the next 2.5 years will bring. And at the end of the day, the biggest thing here that I've really learned, because I don't have this massive following. I'm at 62,000 followers over on Instagram, and then on TikTok, I'm at 126,000. But what's funny about TikTok is that's actually my lowest converting platform. So I actually make most of my sales from Instagram. So you don't need a huge following or like this really big fancy strategy for you to actually sell online. If you come across as a genuine person, if you're knowledgeable, if you're personable, if people like you and you have a sense of community, that sells too. And there's so much to say when it comes to that. Like, I take so much pride in the community that I've built. I definitely sometimes will, not second guess myself, but like when I see other creators blowing up and going super viral, I get so excited for them, but then I'm also like, oh, I wish I could have had that. It's just part of the journey, but that's okay. At the end of the day, I know that I have an amazing community and I love the direction that my business is going. So anyway, enough babbling. I hope that this was really insightful and useful if you want to make money online. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and you'll see me in the next one. Bye.